So one of the best parts about being a book lover at the beginning of any year is all of the new releases that will be coming out in the year. Yeah, it's basically like Christmas all year long. So today I'm here to talk about my most anticipated 2018 book releases. So a couple of the books on this list are books that have already been released as of the time of filming, which is the 14th of January, but they still came out this year and I want to read them, so we're going to include them. The first one of those is actually The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This one has actually already been getting quite a bit of attention from fellow booktubers and book bloggers and what have you. So you may have already seen this one, but I really want to read this one. I've read one other Holly Black book, but I wasn't the biggest fan of it, so I'll be interested to see how I enjoy this one. But one of the reasons I want to read it so badly is because I absolutely love Fae stories, and this one is a Fae story because it follows the main character of Jade, whose parents were killed by the Fae. But 10 years later, she wants to be a part of the Fae court, and she gets embroiled in the politics as they're heading towards the Civil War. I love Fae stories, so I really want to check this one out and see if I like it any better than the prior Holly Black book I read, which I think was A Cold Scroll in Cold Town. So it was about 4 years ago that I read that one, so it'll be interesting to see if my perception on this author has changed. And I actually already ordered it, so it is coming tomorrow. I'm hoping to start it within the next week or two, and hopefully we'll be able to share all of my thoughts for you guys soon. My next most anticipated book is Temptest and Slaughter by Tamara Pierce. This is actually the kickoff to a new series, which is following Numair, which is one of the main characters from her Alana and Wild Magic and Protector of the Small Quartets. He kind of shows up in all of them, but primarily he's in the Wild Magic Quartet. And I love this character. He's one of my favorites. I want to reread all of Tamara Pierce's works this year, so I might hold off on reading this one because it comes out on February 6th, so I may end up kind of waiting to read it, so I want to reread her books. Even though it's a prequel series, I don't know, I prefer to read books in publication order because I'm weird that way. But I'm definitely excited for this book. I'm excited to be back into Tamara Pierce's world because it's been a while since she's released like a new novel set in this world. She's done companion books like A Spy's Guide to Tortal and things like that, but not like an actual novel following her characters, so I'm really excited to read this one. The next book that I'm probably the most excited for this year is The Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi and Adeyemi. I feel like I'm saying that last name wrong. I tried to look up a pronunciation for it and I couldn't find it anywhere, so forgive me if I'm saying the name incorrectly. This book comes out on March 6th and I am so excited for it. The main character of Zeely is bent upon bringing back magic to this world that this story takes place in. Magic has been eradicated and she ends up going with the rogue princess to kind of bring magic back to the land how she once remembered it being, and they have to kind of defy the evil, cruel crown prince who's hellbent on continuing to eradicate magic, and it just sounds like it'll be an epic story. But I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm going to pre-order it and I can't wait to get it in my hands and read it. The next book that I'm looking forward to comes out at the end of this month, and that book is Markswoman by Rati, Mehrota, and I cannot wait to read this book because it sounds so epic. It is a story that features a group of knife-wielding female assassins as they bring both order and chaos back to this post-apocalyptic world. It sounds really exciting. I love the cover for this book. I like books featuring assassins, so this one is definitely on my anticipated list for very obvious reasons. And the next book that I'm very much anticipating is another book that was released on the 2nd of this month, so it's already out, and that is Outcasts of Time by Ian Mortimer. This book takes place during the time of the Black Death in medieval England, and it follows the two brothers of William and John. They have about 6 days left to live, and they either have the choice to live out the 6 days in the familiar time in which they live, or they can choose to spend, I believe it's like a day a century later. So, you know, like right now it's the 1300s, and then they'll spend their next day in the 1400s and the next in the 1500s and so on. It sounds like it'll be kind of an interesting and dark book, and I like books that take place in medieval and Renaissance time periods, so I'm very much looking forward to checking out this one this year as well. The next book, which is another one that I'm like super excited for this year, is The Sword of Truth by Sherwood Smith. As you may or may not know, Sherwood Smith is one of my favorite authors. She is the author of the Inda series, which I absolutely love that series. It's like my Game of Thrones. There's so much political intrigue and pirates and gods, and oh, I love it so much. And this one is a continuation of the Inda story, so I need to reread the Inda series, read Banner of the Damned, which I haven't read yet, which takes place after the Inda series, and then this one takes up where Banner of the Damned left off, I believe, though it is a new trilogy by itself, and it follows a group of people from all over the world that her books take place in, and together they all have to kind of come together and prevent Norse Thunder from happening. Norse Thunder in this world is basically like the apocalypse, if you will, the Armageddon, so it's basically the gods destroying the entire world. So I'm very much looking forward to this one. I've been looking forward to a book about Norse Thunder for a very long time because she mentions Norse Thunder, which is kind of like the realm of the gods and like basically destroying the earth many times in her books. but you only get hints of it. Like there's this underlying plot point through all of her books and you hear about it, but there's only like little snippets, like somebody knows information about this, but then you don't really hear any more about it. And now we're finally gonna learn about it and I'm super, super excited. This book comes out in August, so I'll definitely have time to complete my rereads of her books. The next book that I am very much looking forward to is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This book comes out July 10th, and this one is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling. I really enjoyed Uprooted by her, which was a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so I'm anticipating enjoying this one. I definitely want to read it. I love the cover for this one too, it's so pretty. I really enjoy the way that she goes about telling stories. Her writing style is very much one that I enjoy, so I want to check this one out. Rumpelstiltskin isn't my favorite fairy tale, but I like Naomi Novik and I like her writing, so I thought I would check it out. Hence the reason why it's on my anticipated list for 2018. Next up on my list is The Child of a Mad God by RA Salvatore. This book gets released February 6th, and it sounds like it'll be a pretty exciting story. The story follows Aylin, which I hope I'm saying right, and she's basically left to fend for herself after she loses her parents among a tribe of barbarians, and she ends up learning to wield the power that a coven in this tribe wields. There's like a coven of witches, and she learns to wield this power because she wants to escape them and go beyond the mountains where she is currently living. And it turns out that she might actually be the most powerful sorceress or witch or what have you that this tribe has ever seen. So I am very excited to read this book because it sounds like it'll be kind of epic and fun, and it sounds like it might be kind of dark and gritty, which is like perfect for the winter months. So yes, I'm very much anticipating getting my hands on this one as well. And the last book on this list is The Tangled Lands by Paola Bacigalupi and Tobias Buckell, and this story is basically 4 parts about a land that is being purged of magic and about a tyrant trying to resurrect an empire. The whole story sounds really, really good. It sounds like it's a little bit a melding of fantasy and literary fiction, which I kind of like fantasy books that kind of delve deep and explore like human nature and conditions and why people act the way they do, and that kind of sounds like what this book will be. It just sounds very epic and exciting, and the cover is absolutely stunning, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. I haven't read anything by either of these authors yet, but I have heard amazing things, and I've heard they're just really, really excellent authors, and I'm excited to kind of experience that for myself. This book comes out February 27th, so it's not too far from now, about a month and a half, and I don't know, I might end up pre-ordering it so I can kind of start it right away. We shall see, but it definitely sounds like it'll be a fun and epic story, and I cannot wait to read it. So I'm realizing now that most of the books I want to read this year are actually coming out in the next 2 months, so at least I don't have that long to wait. Alright guys, that is it for my 2018 anticipated book releases. I would love to know what one of your most anticipated books of this year is, and if you think I should check it out, because, you know, I always like to hear about books I don't know about. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and until next time, happy reading. Bye!